on the Session Talk Show in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We are joined with the one and only, and first of all, it's a whole mouthful. You know, our teleprompter may be down, so do not judge me because I got to read a lot. And your girl can't see, so I'm going to be like this for a second. Don't look at me, look at her. Look at her.
Look at the beauty.
So we are joined by a true force of survivors and prevention, Lyndsay Levingston. Which she is the founder and executive director of SurviveHer. Look at her pillows.
Look at it.
Get it. A nonprofit devoted to supporting breast cancer survivors and improving breast health outcomes for women. Welcome, Lyndsay. How are you?
Welcome,
Thank you for having me, ladies.
Yes.
Excited to be back.
Thank you so much. And we have longer to go, but I know you're going to tell that side of your story, so please just jump on in.
Yeah, and well, first we're going to start with the fact that you're a Houston girl. You're a hometown Houston girl.
Well, like as Megan the Stallion says, an H-Town hottie.
An H-Town hottie, yes. Yes, so thank you.
A SurviveHer hottie. I'm going to have to use that.
SurviveHer hottie. Shirt, merch. Okay. Let me bring it back because I could do this all day with you. Absolutely love you. But yes, you've got your origin story here in Houston as a native Houstonian, but you also have an origin story from the first day you were diagnosed. So can you just talk about what that feeling was like? What was going through your mind? Like what was happening there and how did you start the process to healing?
So it all goes back to, I was in New York City at the time working in television news, and in July 2019, while I was doing a self-breast exam, which is extremely important, ladies, to do monthly, I felt a lump in my right breast, and I knew that it was abnormal. I'd never experienced or felt anything like this before. I took action, advocated for myself, and really demanded that my gynecologist order what would be my first mammogram at the age of 37.
Wow, advocacy for yourself.
Advocacy, yes, very important. It also helped though that she was a Black woman, so she was on my side too. But it helped both of us. She was advocating for me, and I was advocating for myself.
Was that important for you for her to be African American?
It was.
Okay.
It's important for me, period, just to have women of color to provide health care for me whenever I can. My breast surgeon is a Black woman. She leads I call her the captain of my SurviveHer ship.
Wow.
And it really does make a difference. It's like an aunt taking care of me. And there's a familial connection. So found the lump, was able to get a mammogram, breast ultrasound, 3D mammogram, biopsy confirmed it was cancerous.
Okay.
I received the call, and this was, I remember, never forget, it was around the July 4th holiday. I received a call, actually a voicemail. The radiologist left a voicemail to give him a call back, and that's not something that you want to hear. Call back, and he said, "I'm sorry, Lyndsay, it's breast cancer."
Okay.
Fast forward.
I told you the stage was.
So that wasn't confirmed until maybe a week or so later. So I was in New York at the time, of course. Shock, emotional roller coaster, because I didn't know at the time I had a family history, and at healthy 37-year-old, I just didn't think that it would happen to me.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure like a lot of women who don't know about or have that unknown family history.
So having a unknown family history, right, and then your journey through treatment. Tell us a little bit about the journey and what were those moments like when you even learned this is what you have, this is the stage, this is the treatment. What were those moments like?
So I relocated immediately back home to Houston so that I knew I'd be surrounded by my village and moved back in with Mom. And I met with Dr. Jamie Terry. She's with Texas Breast Specialist. And she confirmed that my breast cancer was triple negative, which is the most aggressive subtype, stage 2B, and that we needed to start treatment immediately. So I was in her office on a Thursday. She sent me to an onco-fertility specialist.
So explain.
Exactly. And I'm just learning as I go because I'm on the train and it's moving fast.
Yes.
An onco-fertility specialist is one who specializes in fertility preservation for oncology patients. And she happened to be a Black woman and my sorority sister. So I was able to harvest eggs prior to starting chemotherapy because Dr. Terry said the chemo will likely damage your ovaries. I know you desire to become a mother. Let's freeze ovaries, eggs. So I was able to do that on a Tuesday. The following week, got my port inserted and we started chemotherapy.
Wow. That's a lot.
That is
It was a lot. It was, I mean, it was fast
Even the
moving.
freezing your eggs and the retrieval of the eggs.
That's a whole nother
process within
conversation.
And that happened within a week.
I was about to say, so the timeline from
From this
right
to, I would say like maybe within 2 months, this was all happening.
Wow.
Right.
There's a
How
lot
did you
of
feel during that time? Like, what mentally, where were you?
I was in a haze. I was really just operating on autopilot and just listening to whatever the doctor was telling me to do, and I would do it because I knew I wanted to live and survive and thrive. So at the end of the day, my mind was thinking, how are you going to press through this, power through this, and survive? So just follow the doctor's instructions and just go through it. So initially it was chemotherapy, lumpectomy to remove any remnants, and then radiation for 6 weeks. So I started chemo. I cut my hair off proactively so that I didn't have to experience losing my hair. And then I learned from my cousin on my paternal side of the family that it runs on the Levingston side, and I was the 14th female to have been diagnosed on my dad's side of the family, and no one was talking about it.
Were you not close with your dad's side of the family? Y'all just
Not to that extent, and no one was talking about it until another woman was diagnosed. Oh, by the way, did you know cousin so and so had
And it
it?
was so, that's in the same thing. I am 60 and I noticed that the generation prior,
Exactly. It's so interesting that you mentioned that. Generational, I would say barriers, or I don't even know if it's cultural barriers, but generationally, like my mom's generation, it was very hush-hush to talk about any health challenges.
that you had, and especially
in the Black community too.
Black community,
Exactly.
And female
Well, my family was just nosy because they, Earl, how he died? Well, what's all, they just,
Like, or why did Big Mama die?
yeah, they want
Right.
Well, if she died of breast cancer, you didn't know.
Yeah.
So there's power in knowing your family history and your genetic status. So when I took a genetic test, it confirmed that I carried the BRCA1 gene mutation. So everyone is born with BRCA1 and 2 genes. These are the genes that work to suppress breast and ovarian cancers. So it looks like this. Well, my BRCA1 gene is mutated, it's broken. So my risk is elevated for both breast and ovarian cancers.
How do you find that out?
I learned just
going through that process.
going through the process. This is why, and I'll get to why I started SurviveHer. I was like, I didn't know about any of this.
Yeah, we want to get to that. We definitely want to get to that.
Absolutely.
Right? Next step.
Okay, so chemo, I rang the bell, and instead of proceeding with the lumpectomy radiation, we proceeded with a bilateral mastectomy, breast reconstruction, as preventative measures to reduce my risk of breast cancer. Months later, ovaries and fallopian tubes removed. So see, the blessing in getting those eggs harvested really did make a difference.
Because it did.
Yes, my ovarian reserve was like 0.0000. We tested my ovaries after chemo and they were shot. And so let's remove them, and so to reduce my risk of ovarian cancer. Woo.
Oh my goodness.
Did that answer your question, Kim?
Yeah, I think so.
There's so many components and facets.
We're going to pause it right there.
Yes.
I mean, this is such an important conversation. I mean, while you were talking, I was trying to hold back tears just listening to that journey. You're telling the story now, but I can only imagine during that time. Even an autopilot, because at some point you come out of autopilot and you sit in your situation and you are amazing.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you.
Guys, we will be right back after this commercial break.
Hi, I'm Lyndsay Levingston, founder and executive director of SurviveHer, a breast cancer nonprofit. You're watching the Session Talk Show on Cam Vision 365.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Session Talk Show. We're going to continue our conversation here with Lyndsay Levingston with SurviveHer. Yes. So Lyndsay, tell us some very important preventative measures that you can share.
Preventative measures, self-exams in the shower, monthly, preferably 2 weeks, and recommended 2 weeks after your menstrual cycle when your breasts are not tender or hormonally challenged, if you will. But that's really important, and we have to teach you how to do that. So arms are up, and you take, I say 2 fingers, and you start at the top, like even a clavicle, because your breast tissue starts here, and you're going to press your way down and around the outer perimeter of the breast firmly. If you have dense or fatty breasts, you need to go deeper.
I hear people say dense.
It means they're fatty. That means that a lump or mass could be hiding deep. And just think of like snow on the screen, and it's hard to see.
So is this like if you're well endowed, you've really got to get in there and make sure you're
Yes,
not.
I mean, it could be, Kai, you're tiny, you're size 0. It could be someone who is, curvier woman, but this just means fatty tissue.
Okay, and so you're digging around.
You have to press firm, and then you work your way into the areola, so more like nipple area. Okay. And you press each arm. You can do this laying down. And the shower is great because your body's soapy, so it's easier to kind of feel around.
Right. But what does it feel like?
It could feel like a small pea. It could feel like a marble. Mine was the size of a large, I say green grape, like an oblong shaped grape. And I didn't even I have my teaching breast that we use when we are at health fairs so that women will know how it feels. Because it could be, they range in size and shape, but it's usually hard. Like a peanut, or just think of something that you can't match.
Different.
Oh yes.
Okay.
What your usual.
So we're checking tonight.
Yes, we're checking tonight.
Right,
Yes.
in the shower.
50% of breast cancers are.
And you can pull that information up and watch videos.
Absolutely, there's so many learning videos on YouTube.
Right.
50% of breast cancers are detected through self-exam, 50% through mammography, which is why both are equally important.
Right.
You may feel something at a mammogram, it may not show up on the screen or vice versa, but I highly recommend both of those as preventative measures. Being mindful of your diet, what you're eating, exercise. You hear this from the doctor. You go walking, exercise 30 minutes a day.
There's a reason why they reiterate it. It's just as important.
Smoking, stay away from the smoking, limit your alcohol intake.
Yes.
All of that plays a role in just maintaining a healthy body.
There's a lot of education behind that. I imagine, because earlier when you were speaking, you used about 10 terms that as a woman, I almost feel guilty. I don't know what you were talking about because I don't have that education. Now, some of that should be self-initiated, ladies and gentlemen, but sometimes we do need to hear that from our practitioners, right?
Get breast cancer?
Absolutely.
1%
They
of
can
men
get
are
breast
diagnosed with
cancer.
breast cancer, like Beyonce's father.
Yes,
Matthew talks about it.
have it.
Like
Yeah.
Paul does about
And he's BRCA2 positive, so he has
And see,
BRCA2. So both
BRCA2,
Solange and Beyonce have a much higher risk, and Tina knows has breast cancer.
Tina's sister passed away. It runs in your family.
And Tina was diagnosed as well. So now their risk levels are extremely
So that
high.
education piece, I feel, must be part of where the origin story of SurviveHer comes from, wanting to educate women, but there's more to it. So can you go and dive into the origin of SurviveHer?
No, you said it so beautifully, Jazz. I learned so much in this 18 months of being poked and prodded and going to appointments, and I had numerous surgeries. There's just so much, and I felt selfish to withhold all of this information. And when I felt confident to share, I went through my journey privately, and when I felt confident to share publicly, I used my media megaphone to do so, and simply to educate. Educate about genetics, family history, self-exams, breast density, mammography, biopsy, breast ultrasound. There's just so much.
So many.
But the origin really was a God-given vision and idea that he and I have been in partnership with, just moving SurviveHer forward.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So the peer support, I am saying that this is financial help. SurviveHer does counseling, navigation just through all of the things that you just mentioned. How do they do peer support? Because if you don't have a village, you talked about your village earlier. If you don't have a village, what does that look like?
So I created SurviveHer really to create a community for women. We are like an elevated, sparkly support group.
Sparkly support group.
I did not identify with any organizations, nor did I know about many, except the large larger national organizations, which is why I created my own. But through SurviveHer, we offer support to women who are uninsured and underinsured. The Rose, you talked to Chris Noble earlier, is one of our beneficiaries for the money that we raise. Breast cancer is a very expensive disease. And if you don't have insurance out of pocket, I was looking at my medical bills, it would have cost about $500,000 just to pay for chemotherapy alone.
And I guessed earlier like $1 million. I'm like,
I was like, you're close. It's expensive. So we work to fill in the gaps financially to support women with copays, rental assistance, transportation, which is also a social determinant of health.
It's tough.
For some women, bless their hearts, they don't have a choice. They may have to work.
They may have to. They may have to push through.
Single parent or single
something
household.
that you may not know the answer, and it's fine. When it comes to healthcare for breast cancer, is that cost just associated with the United States? Is it cheaper in other countries?
So I understand in Europe, women don't have to pay for, I don't think they have to pay for insurance at all. And so it's covered in other countries. United States, we are so behind in providing the financial resources for women who are impacted by breast cancer. But our peer support, Kim, comes through our programming, our community events. We host workshops, lunch and learn, sip and shops, brunch experiences, and we take our Treat Her initiative on the road. So we'll go to the Essence festivals. We're going to New York next weekend. We host a major breast cancer awareness block party in the heart of Harlem.
August,
so our peer support comes through our events and bringing survivors and women together.
And I love that. Can I just say, Lyndsay knows how to throw an event. She knows how to throw a beautiful event. You were just at Martha's Vineyard in August. And in the spring, what I can tell you, what was so impactful and in your spring event that you had, a beautiful event out City Center, it really touched me personally, but I could tell the room went silent because everyone was zoned in. When you spoke about the role of caretakers, the role of support people, when you're a literal frontline caretaker for someone or just a supporter from afar, best practices, you all spoke about that and had a real open conversation. And I'm getting emotional again because it really just touched my heart after caring for a family member very close to me and near and dear. So I appreciate you bringing that perspective up. How can we best support someone going through this journey, this challenge? What are your key pointers for people who want to be the best caretakers they can?
And I'm thank you for mentioning that, because oftentimes we forget about the co-survivors. Co-survivors, because we can't thrive and I guess power through our treatment and our surgeries without the support of loved ones, family, friends. My advice to those who are supporting a woman who is undergoing breast cancer treatment is to show up for her. Sometimes you don't know what you need, and that woman may not know what to ask for, but simply being there, offering a ride to chemotherapy, or just sitting there with her while she's in the chemo chair. Dropping off meals. I remember when my friends brought a huge bag of Papados to the house, and I was bald, I had my turban on. I mean, it was very like bare bones, and they showed up with the bag of food, and it brought so much joy to my spirit. It's just some small gestures, a text message, sending prayers, and praying for. Those are free.
Thank you, Lyndsay, so much for joining us. Please tell our audience where they can find more information. I know you have a huge event coming up tomorrow as well.
Yes, so you can follow us on I'm a SurviveHer on Instagram, social media. Our website is I'mASurviveHer.org. We do have our annual fundraiser, the annual SurviveHer soiree. It's the 5th anniversary of SurviveHer.
Make sure to follow us on all of our social platforms, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Please listen carefully.